Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. Sometimes I get really excited about something. Sometimes I get really hopeful that something will be a better value than what it is. And then sometimes I get pleasantly surprised. This is both. Because for the most part, this is way overpriced until you get to a very important final exception. I want to remind you all that this is the gold standard of $100 offers for Paragon players. And I get that you can easily complete 8.2 and not be Paragon. Okay, totally get that. But for $100, which was the equivalent of 3,350 units here, you got not one but two Abyss Nexus Crystal Selectors, a 6-star Awakening Gem Crystal, one 25% Tier 6 Class Catalyst Fragment, but it was a crystal. But in addition to that, you got 1.25 Tier 3 Alpha and 1.25 Tier 6 Basic. All for, let's just say, even though it's like about 3,100 units, let's just say it's 3,350. Let's just go with that. 3,350. 3,350 is well under half the cost of 7,500. Half that cost is 3,750. So this is 400 units cheaper. And by the way, you get the units. Now look, I've been doing this a long time. This is not exactly apples to oranges, but it is worth noting that free-to-play players can in theory get this. They can't get this. So yes, one is cash only. One in theory can be grinded for multiple weeks, months, etc. With that being said, 500 units worth of level 2 team revives, 300 units worth of energy refills, that gets you to 800 units. The level 6 health potions are always tough to categorize, but let's just say for the sake of argument that you're generous and say that's 100 units per, which I don't think it would be. But let's say it's 100 units per, just to round up the value. And for level 2 revives, well, we know that those are 400 units. So 4 plus 3 is 700, plus another 500 is 1,200, plus another... let's just go 50. That's 1,700 units worth of potions and revives and energy refills. The Abyss Nexus Crystal Selector was valued at about 1,600 units. So we're going to go with that. So the question is, are you willing to pay 3,000 to 4,000 units for by far the most valuable part of this, the 4 25% Tier 6 Class Catalyst Fragment Selectors? Now, it's worth noting that this is one of the most prized items in the 8.2 exploration. So you could say, I'm going to try to get that, or you could just jump ahead and get this now. Now, if you're like me and you really want a rank 5 6-star Hercules, this would get you 1/3 of the way there. Everything else, I'm not impressed with. If that 25% Tier 6 Class Catalyst Fragment Selector wasn't times 4, if there was just like one, I would think this would be worth at most about 3,500 units. It would be literally 4,000 units less. But where the economy of the game is right now, and maybe like so many of the offers we've seen triggered in both Act 6 and Act 7 before Act 8, this is going to age the opposite of a fine wine. This is going to be a laughably bad deal in the future. I don't know. What I do know is that it's priced as if the Abyss Nexus Crystal Selector is actually more like a champion selector for one champion for a year, like an era champion selector. But if you are somebody who wants another rank 5 6-star, this is going to be exceptionally tempting. And Kabam has made it known that they do not care at all about the rush to get more rank 4 to rank 5 6-star rank up gems. Maybe we'll see some in the spring cleaning on Friday, but I doubt it. I doubt it because it's not an 8.2. They want that to be still super rare. They might bust it out for the first time in rewards for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for Paragon players specifically on July 4th weekend, which of course is not until a few months away. But in the meantime, like without the Tier 6 Class Catalyst Fragment Selector, I'd give this deal, golly, probably an F. But with that, it's a C plus, B minus. I would be tempted to buy it if it were me. just because that's how much I care about taking Hercules eventually to rank 5. But if you don't have the units and you don't have the money, just wait. But obviously, if you want to push your account to get it, you'll want to make sure that you have the units ready, or as much as possible. You don't have to spend as much cash as possible, because you determine when you trigger this. That's the big thing. You determine when you trigger this. I want to say this, and I want to be very, very clear. I would be more excited about this if it had rank 4 materials as well. If it had a couple of tier 6 basic and tier 3 alpha, I'd be all about it. But it doesn't. It has some revives, some health potions, some energy refills, an Abyss Nexus Crystal Selector, which I opened from the Volume 3 Creators Challenges and got very bad results. And then the most important, maybe the most relevant tier 6 class Catalyst Fragment Selector, which I do think is certainly the first of its kind for a unit offer. And that's why it's priced so high. Way more valuable than a 6-star OG Visioner, Kang/Wang, I'll say that. What grade would you give it, YouTube? Thanks for watching. Double R, my man. Thanks for the info as always. I appreciate the feedback.